Imagine that frozen moment when the world narrows to a single doorway, and the person who carried you into this life stands there, eyes hollow, doing nothing as fists rain down. The metallic taste of blood filled my mouth. My ribs screamed with every shallow breath. And there she was, my own mother, watching like a stranger at a car wreck. Not a word. Not a step forward. Just silence, thick enough to choke on. That night in my Fort Bragg quarters wasn't the end. It was the spark that ignited everything I'd buried deep. They say revenge is a dish best served cold. But mine simmered for years, building pressure until it exploded in ways that shattered us all. My name is Elena Ramirez, and at 28, I'm a staff sergeant in the U.S. Army, specializing in psychological operations. But this story digs back to the roots of betrayal, to a childhood home in rural North Carolina where love turned toxic, and silence became the loudest weapon. It all traces back to Pineville, a sleepy town of about 10,000 souls where tobacco fields stretch like faded memories and everyone pretends not to notice the cracks in their neighbors' lives. Our house was a weathered ranch style on Oak Lane, with peeling blue paint and a front porch swing that creaked like old bones. Back then, Sundays meant Dad firing up the grill for ribs, slathering them in his secret sauce while Mom hummed gospel tunes from her choir days. Laughter echoed off the walls, simple and unforced, the kind that makes you believe family is forever. My father, Miguel Ramirez, worked as a mechanic at the local auto shop, his grease-stained hands magic on anything with an engine. He'd let me sit on a stool in the garage, passing him sockets while he fixed up our old Chevy, teaching me that patience fixes more than tools ever could. Mom was a nurse at the county hospital, the type who could calm a screaming patient with just a gentle touch and a story. She'd come home smelling of antiseptic, turning bedtime into lessons on kindness, bandaging my scraped knees while explaining how hearts heal slower than skin. I was 13 when the foundation crumbled. March 22nd, a date etched like a scar. Dad was heading back from a parts run in Charlotte when his truck hydroplaned on a rain-slicked I-77. Faulty brakes on the semi that hit him. They ruled. But blame doesn't soften the blow of losing the man who chased away my nightmares and promised to dance at my wedding. Mom held it together at the service, gripping my hand until it went numb, her eyes dry as dust while the preacher droned on. It was only later, spotting his favorite coffee thermos on the counter, the one engraved with "World's Toughest Dad" that I'd saved allowance to buy, that she shattered. Her wails echoed through the house, raw and unending, like grief was ripping her open from the inside. The following year blurred into sympathy cards, frozen lasagnas from church folks, and watching Mom fade like a photo left in the sun. She quit her nursing shifts one by one, claiming exhaustion, until the hospital let her go. Dad's life insurance covered the basics, but I learned quick, ramen from the pantry, forging her name on school forms, pretending everything was fine when teachers asked why she never showed up. Then Victor Harlan entered the picture. 9 months after the funeral, Mom's car stalled in the Walmart lot, alternator gone, and there he was, a burly contractor from the construction firm downtown, loading lumber into his pickup. At 6 feet 3 inches, with salt and pepper hair and a grin that seemed warm at first. He jumped the battery without a second thought, followed us home to check the wiring, spotted our sagging roof shingles, and offered to patch them gratis. Just helping out, he said, palms up like he was harmless. Your husband would have done the same. Mom's lips twitched into something like a smile, faint but real, and I clung to it like a lifeline. Desperation blinded me to the red flags. All I saw was a fixer, someone to mend what Dad left broken. How could I foresee those strong hands turning to weapons, that smile twisting into a sneer that could curdle milk? In those honeymoon months, Victor was a dream. He'd show up with fresh-picked daisies from the roadside. Not flashy bouquets, but thoughtful ones that made Mom blush. Fixed the leaky faucet without asking. Even came to my middle school soccer game, cheering from the sidelines like he belonged. 5 months in, they tied the knot at the county clerk's office. Simple. No fuss. I stood as her witness in a thrift store dress he'd picked out. His hand on my shoulder as he said, "Family looks out for family." Those words would haunt me later, replaying while I iced bruises or huddled under my covers. But that day, seeing Mom glow like she hadn't since Dad, I dared to hope we'd turned a corner. I was dead wrong. The shift was subtle, like a frog in warming water, not realizing it's boiling until too late. Victor started with advice laced in care. "Anna, nursing's too draining on you right now. Let me handle the providing, I've got steady contracts." Mom, still raw from loss, nodded along, quitting for good. It felt protective then. A man stepping up. Next came the money grip. "Let me manage the accounts." "Sweetheart, no need for you to stress over bills." He merged everything. Rerouted her disability checks. Turned Dad's insurance payout into his domain. Soon, Mom couldn't grab a coffee without his okay. Her independence evaporating like morning dew. Isolation crept in next. Precise as a surgeon's cut. When Aunt Rosa called from Florida, he'd loom nearby, muttering about phone bills. Old nursing buddies' invites got shot down with sudden family obligations. "Blood first," he'd say. But it landed like a veiled warning. I watched Mom shrink. The vibrant nurse who'd once rallied the community for flu drives now deferring to him on everything, even what to wear. Gone were her floral scrubs, and came drab sweaters he deemed appropriate to outsiders. Victor was a hero, rescuing a widow, raising her kid like his own. At the Baptist church he dragged us to, ditching our old Episcopal one. Folks patted his back. "What a stand-up guy." Anna's blessed. But behind our walls, the facade cracked. "Elena forgot to mow the lawn again," he'd announce at dinner, even if I'd done it hours before. In my day, that'd mean no supper. Or, "That friend of yours, Jamie? Too wild, crop tops and attitude. You're done hanging out." When I'd push back, he'd play wounded to Mom. "I'm just looking out for her future. Anna, you want her turning out like those troubled teens." And Mom, my fierce mom who'd once stared down doctors for better patient care, would murmur, "Victor knows best. Honey." Rules piled up like storm clouds. No calls after 8 p.m. No Instagram. No clubs unless cleared. They never were. Door always open. Homework inspected not for help but critique. Rewriting perfect essays until I doubted my own mind. Building character, he'd claim. "Life's brutal out there, you'll thank me." I started a secret journal, tucked under my mattress. Dates he trashed Dad's old tools to move on, times he reduced Mom to tears over a late dinner. The way he'd squeeze her arm in the car for picking the wrong radio station, hard enough to bruise, soft enough to hide. I confronted Mom once, while folding sheets alone. "Are you okay with this?" Her hands paused on his pillowcase, and for a heartbeat, I glimpsed the old fighter. "Victor pulled us from the brink," she said flatly. "We owe him stability." "At what price?" I pressed. But she shut down. "You don't get it. The emptiness after your dad. The fear of failing you. He fixed that." In that moment, the truth hit like a gut punch. Mom saw it all, the control, the erosion, and chose it anyway. Fear of solitude outweighed everything. Even me. Her silence wasn't ignorance, it was complicity. Forging bars around us both. By 16, I felt like a ghost in my own home. Victor mapping my life like a blueprint. No college, waste for girls headed to marriage. Instead, clerking at his buddy's hardware store. Paycheck split for house contributions and a savings he controlled. Real world smart, he'd say. Degrees just bury you in loans. At dinner, staring at the community college pamphlet hidden in my bag, I whispered, I want to study psychology, help people like us. He chuckled coldly. You? With your messy habits? Stick to stocking shelves. My GPA was 3.7. But he dismissed it. Book smarts don't count. Turning to Mom, talk her down. Anna. She averted her eyes. Victor's got the experience. Sweetie. That night, nausea hit hard. Visions of decades under his thumb flashing like a nightmare. The bathroom floor cooled my tears as I realized Mom had surrendered long ago. Piece by piece, school became my refuge. 8 hours free from his shadow. That's where MS. Harper, my counselor, a retired Air Force vet with a no-nonsense stride, changed everything. She pulled me in senior year. Ramirez. Plans post-grad. Working, I muttered. Her eyes narrowed. With your scores? Your psych essays? Spill the real story. The dam broke. Victor's grip. Mom's surrender. The dead-end job looming. She slid over a brochure. U.S. Army. Army strong. Not for all, she said. But for you? Job. Education. Escape. At 18. No one blocks it. My hands trembled. Victor he won't know till it's done. Basic starts right after graduation. But Mom, she's chosen her path. Now choose yours or vanish in that store. I met the recruiter covertly, using library time as cover. Sergeant Lee, a sharp Korean American with a grip like iron, outlined it. ASVAB snuck in during school tests. Physicals masked as checkups. On my 18th birthday, February 10th, I signed, 6 years active. Psych ops specialty, mind games. Influence. The irony not lost on me. For months, I played compliant at home, nodding over store shifts while MS. Harper stashed docs. Opened a secret account. Set up a P.O. box. Acceptance hit in May. Report to Fort Jackson, South Carolina. June 20th. Graduation night. I crossed the stage, diploma in hand. Spotting Victor's smug nod, thinking he'd molded my fate. Mom's smile was plastic beside him. Days later. Duffel packed. I faced her alone, Victor at a sight. I'm enlisting, I said. Her face paled. No. Hill, I'm legal. He can't. She collapsed on the sofa. He'll rage. Come with me, shelters exist. I can't. This is home. He's my husband. I knelt, pleading, I love you. But I won't drown saving you if you cling to the anchor. MS. Harper honked. I walked out. Her frozen form the last sight. The doors click echoing liberation. Fort Jackson slammed like a Carolina heat wave. Drill sergeants barked before we disembarked. Drop and give me 20. This ain't vacation. First night. In starched BDUs. Feet raw in boots. I questioned my sanity. The bunkmate beside me, a fiery Latina from Miami named Lucia Torres, sniffled. What fresh hell? Freedom, I replied. And it rang true. Basic was 10 weeks of breakdown, endless push-ups better than Victor's tiptoeing. Runs till collapse sweeter than stifled dinners. Beratings honest unlike his gaslighting. Rules here were fair, follow. Thrive. No shifting sands. Lucia became my battle buddy. Army-mandated partner. Her dad ran a bodega, raising her tough amid street smarts. She outran most guys, her quips cracking even sergeants. Why Army? She asked on guard duty. Messy home. Abuse code, she said flatly. My cousin had that haunted look. I didn't elaborate, she didn't push. Gas chamber week burned literal, tear gas searing lungs. Reciting details maskless. I emerged hacking but steady. Sergeant Hayes barking, that's sucking it up. Ramirez. Pain here forged purpose. Unlike Victor's cruelty. Marksmanship. Hitting bullseyes at 250 yards. Medical basics. Staunching wounds. Staying cool under fire. Hand to hand. Using leverage to flip bigger foes. You've got fire, Sergeant Ortiz noted after I grounded a hulking recruit. Like proving a point. Calls home were torture, 5 minutes weekly. Mom's voice strained. How's it? Building strength. Victor's. Don't. Graduation. August 15th, in blues. Family absent. But Lucia's clan claimed me, her mom snapping pics. Dad saluting, warrior now. Advanced training at Fort Sam Houston, psych ops interrogation. Influence. Reading minds. Lucia went logistics, we penned letters old school. I thrived. Trauma-honed instincts spotting lies. Calming chaos. First post, Fort Bragg. North Carolina, ironic proximity to home. But worlds away. Assigned to 82nd Airborne Psych Unit. Sergeant Major Ellis. A Gulf War vet. Eyed me, family proud. Complicated. Army's family now. Off-base apartment, mine alone, no inspections. No curfews. Breathing room after years caged. 2 years in. A cryptic text from Mom, the gray urns moved. New spot. Dad's ashes. Chills hit, I called. Victor answered, runaway calls back. Mom. Busy being a wife. Click. The urn became a blue vase, his fresh start symbol. Threats escalated, unknown numbers warning, stay west or accidents happen. I documented. But proof lacked. Visiting home unannounced. The house felt haunted, photos gone. Mom gaunt. Sleeves hiding marks. Cameras, she whispered. Victor burst in, trespassing. She's coming with me. Mom, I'm Victor's wife. Defeated. I left. Hotline calls yielding nada without her buy-in. Back at Bragg. My place trashed, uniforms ripped. Walls graffitied, metal and pay. MPs investigated, no ties to Victor. Texts, Mom's clumsy, stairs next. Hospital confirmed, falls. Bruises. She begged, stay away, he'll target you, Army mishaps. Clarity struck, he wielded her as shield. I geared up, JAG consults. Savings. Evidence. Lucia, war's on. Breaking point, Mom's slurred call, journal found. Victor raging. Line dead. 911 dispatched, she denied. Back home. Fake break-in call lured me, apartment destroyed. Moved on base. Hospital, Mom broken. Still loyal. Decision, destroy or be destroyed. Texted back, understood. War declaration. August 25th, text, alone tonight. Pounding door, Victor. Reeking booze. Crowbar splintering wood. Teach loyalty. I dodged. Need. But size 1 chokehold. Ribs cracking. Mom in doorway, watching. Silent. Betrayal pierced deeper than blows. SOS to Lucia. Sirens. MPs cuffed him, Mom mute. Trial. Federal charges, assault on personnel. Fraud ID. Stalking. Footage damned him, attack clear. Mom's 4-minute watch. Witnesses, ex-employees abused. Guilty, 20 years. Mom across street post-verdict, stepped. Halted. I turned away. Letter months later, therapy. Moved. Saw too late, erased me. You saved yourself. Saved me. No reply yet. Victor rots, I rise, Sergeant Major. Counseling abused troops. Revenge? Not destruction, survival. Proved my worth. Despite silence's cost.